Yo, and welcome back to the Banter Boys podcast. My name is Sanji. With me is Ras. How ya doing, Ras?
Welcome. Eid Mubarak to all those who are celebrating today. I guess we are recording on Thursday. So for those who are celebrating today on Thursday, or those who will be celebrating tomorrow on the Friday, Eid Mubarak to all of you. It's definitely been a tricky Eid, right? You want to get together with everyone, but obviously we can't celebrate fully. But I hope you find some form of way to celebrate with your close ones and bring it possibly as close to normal as you could. So, yeah.
I know, man. My neighbors dropped off sawine for me, yo. I'm so excited to go, stuff my face after we finish recording. I love Eid, bro. Eid Mubarak to you and to your family, to your loved ones. Yo, Mo Salah did the business, though, with that Eid celebration.
Yeah.
Get the brace, get the win against Manchester United.
Exactly. For those who don't know what sawine is, it's savanya or vermicelli in milk and cream and nuts and sugar. It's honestly my mom makes it every year. It's you come back and it's something that you have all the time. But I'm I'm glad you could enjoy some of that too, living by yourself.
It's so good, fam. You know what? I would love to sit down and shoot the shit with you, though.
Yes.
But you know what? Quick turnaround. We've got a game week that starts tomorrow. So let's get down straight to business.
Yep.
Ross, before we get started, do you want to remind listeners how they can engage with us and share our episodes?
Yep, quickly. So you can message us on Twitter or Instagram. Our handle is @BantaB. You can message us on Discord. Our username is BantaBoys #6585. And on Reddit, you can message us at /Banta_boys. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, or YouTube, all under the name of Banta Boys.
All right. We are on episode 42, as Ross said, recording on Thursday, May 13th. So we are mainly a fan tracks draft podcast. And, sometimes we do mix around with those OFPL questions as well. All right. Before we get started, quick data dump, looking at key passes for this game week. And remember, there were some teams that had double game weeks, some that even had triple game weeks. We didn't even get to talk about that on the pod. They changed that shit up so last minute, fam. But yeah, looking at key passes, Trent on top, as always, T-Baby with 10 key passes, Albrighton with 8. And tied in third, there's a 5-way tie actually for 6 key passes from Cavallero, Eze, Milivojevic, Rashford, and Shaw. So now looking at shots and then shots on target. For the most attempted shots, Benteke, 12 of them, 6 on target. Bruno came in second with 11 shots, only 2 on target. And then there was a 3-way tie for 8 shots attempted. Greenwood had 4 of them on target, Iheanacho had 3 on target, and Salah had 3 on target as well. And finally, looking at the accurate crosses into the box. There was a 6-way tie for 3 of them, coming from Albrighton, T-Baby, Cavallero, Digne, Rashford, and Tielemans. Alright, so standard first half, we're going to do our league catch-ups, Twitter questions, and go through those injury updates. We'll take our halftime pint. In the second half, we'll discuss, the triple game week and how it went, and also use that information to make our predictions for the blank game week 36 and give you those FA and waiver picks to end your season. You know what? Especially for those playoffs. And just as a reminder, the 4 teams that are blanking in this game week are Leicester, Chelsea, Manchester United, and Arsenal. Alright, Ross. Let's get started, mate. Let's look at our OG league. I mean, we're both in the playoffs. That's the most important thing, right?
Yeah. I didn't participate at all. I'll be honest.
So do you remember me harassing you about Johnny Evans the Friday itself?
You were messaging me, you called me. I was at work, so I was actually really busy because it was really busy time during work. So I've left Johnny Evans and Sanji, I really appreciated you trying to reach out all that. But my God, man, it was such a nice just having a little break from fantasy altogether, because I'd qualified in both our leagues. So I was like, I don't even have to go, move. I wouldn't change my position at all. Barring like a 500-point game or something, which I don't even think was possible considering all the players. Yeah, it wasn't possible. I had 71 points on my bench. I had Timo, I had Callum Odoi, I had Stuart Dallas, Benji Mendy, and Azpilicueta all on my bench, totaling to 71 points. But you know what? I didn't care. I ended up losing anyways. I gave my little brother a win. He came in last. Let him get a win anyways. So,
Is this just to convince him to play next season as well?
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, this game week, again, I mean, it kind of mattered for me. It kind of didn't, because it was very interesting to see who I was gonna kind of face up in the playoffs. But I mean, I don't think it mattered who I started, who I benched. My bench had 90 points alone. The brace from Callum Wilson, goals from both Woods of Burnley. Moutinho was back and in the points. Even though Harrison had no goal or assist returns, came through with 15 to 16 points, right? But most of my guys had double game weeks, right? The likes of Luca Dean, Henderson had the triple game week. Nathaniel Phillips, double game week hero as well, came through with a little bit of an assist. James Ward-Prowse, Saka, Ziyech, DCL, Greenwood. I'm not gonna lie, my team smashed out 227 points in total out of 21 possible players. I mean, the average isn't that great, but I was just happy to smash this many points out, because I just feel like, okay, now everyone's kinda hitting some form, the team is looking good, I'm excited for playoffs, alright? So yeah, we both are in playoffs, so it didn't really matter. But the most important thing though is, you know who you're playing in playoffs now, right?
Yeah. I'm playing Kayam, who doesn't have Bruno, Jamie Vardy, and Luke Shaw. It's a big hit for him. We were having a little discussion on our group chat. Initially, I was like, there was an offer traded up on Jack Grealish for Bruno, and I was like, man, no, because it's kind of unfair. But I also kind of understand that it's playoff time, it's do or die, right? You obviously don't want to drop these players, and I would understand people trying to make moves because it's a playoff game and you just lost two of your best players, right? Maybe even three with Jamie Vardy, right? So I understand. So I was like, hey, if you want to do the trade, you should totally go for it. And I think he's still thinking about it.
Wow, that would be a very intense trade, man. But I mean, it's not like you have all your squad players as well, right? Surely you're missing some key men as well, like Timo Werner. Who's hitting some serious form now, I believe.
Yeah.
Right? So, I feel like it's kind of even. Because if he's willing to do a trade like that, Russ, I'm not gonna lie, you might get some help from the Banter Boys podcast if you need that help, buddy. Just saying.
I'm not losing anyone to the intensity of Bruno Fernandes and Luke Shaw. I still have Robertson playing. I still have Adama Traore playing. I'm all good with that, man.
And you have your boy Diego Jota as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
So, and you've got Adama Traore, and anything can happen with Adama Traore.
Exactly.
Alright, let's look at our Banter Boys League now. Ross, again, not a game week that you were necessarily paying attention to, because in this league, your position was also locked. Same for me, I was just playing the game week for shits and giggles, hoping to get to a cute little number of 69 points, but Manos decided that should not happen. He beat me in the end. I lost 152 to 119. But I mean, the positive thing is though, Jack Grealish is back, like you said. So I'm happy to have him come into the playoffs. I mean, I'm not sure if he's gonna get 90-minute games, but you know what? I'll take what I get.
Even a half is all good.
What about you? How did you fare in this game week?
I won in this game week. I could have, I had Nat Phillips. I had Sadio Mane in the game before this, who had the goal, right? Solid returns for most of my teams. Again, I wasn't really paying attention. I ended up with only 139 points from 17 players, but this team right now is gonna hurt a lot because next week I don't have Pogba, Tielemans, Kelechi, Luke Shaw, and Johnny Evans, and Ben Chilwell, and Christian Pulisic. So, gotta make some moves,
Holy
man.
Crap.
Gotta make some moves.
Bro, that is brutal. Oh man, and you're coming up against a Spurs brigade, against a
Yeah.
shitty Wolves defense.
Yeah.
Oh man. Alright, we definitely gotta figure out some moves for you for this game week. Alright, yeah, I mean, again, going back to my game week, I mean, the only thing I wanted to tell listeners is I did have Ollie Watkins, so yeah, I was part of that red card pain that got locked into that position. Whatever, I just kind of want to throw it out there. But he's back with Jack, so things can only get better. And I have the bye, but you know what? If you win your game week, there's a chance that we could meet each other in the semis.
Yeah. You're right.
I mean, in the OG League, we probably won't meet until the finals. So, I mean, you've got one job, I've got one job, right?
Let's see how it happens, man.
We started the season and the podcast with us in the finals. I mean, it's only fair that we end the season with us in the finals as well. Alright, let's look at our perfect 11 team now, Ross. Wait till you hear how much we scored this week. In nets, we had Jordan Pickford. I mean, that's pretty tidy, right? 2 clean sheets.
Exactly.
Got us like, what was that, 20 points in total? Yeah, I was happy with that. But the outfielders scored us a whopping 268.5 points.
Almost 300 points, man.
Yup. We had Trent. We had Luka Dean. We had Luke Shaw, AWB, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Greenwood, Mo Salah, and our lowest scoring player, Gabriel Martinelli with 3 points.
Ooh, my God, man. That's
and this was
team,
without your help. I remember when I messaged you, you were basically like, fuck off, Sanjit. I'm trying to chill on my weekend, bro.
I know. Sorry, Sanji. Sorry, Sanji. But you know what? You managed to pull it all off on your own, man.
It's all good, yo. You know what? That's all that matters. As long as the Banter Boys are moving up the standings, we are in 32nd place now.
Nice.
So that's definitely a rise from last time,
nice,
right?
Nice.
So 3 more game weeks to go, we can still keep going up as high as possible. All right. Okay. So now that we're done with the league catch-ups, I think it is a perfect time for us to go through those Twitter questions, Ross.
Yeah. So first question we have from Man with No Name at Debankster1. Who do you think should be the manager of the year? Pep, Tuchel, Bielsa, etc. If there's any other considerations. I don't think Tuchel should be in the consideration because, like, you know, he came in halfway through the season.
No,
I don't think it'd be unfair. I think Pep would be a clear front runner. Bielsa, maybe if he gets the finish.
But we always give it to, like, fucking managers that win all the time. That's such a boring ass, like... That's a boring ass pick.
That is. I think Dean Smith.
Dean Smith? Really? Even though he lost Grealish and Aston Villa are currently 11?
So, from a relegation battle to to almost top 10, I think Dean Smith or David Moyes.
Bro, Moyes boys, 100%.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah. That Moyes would be the clear front runner.
Moyes boys are legitimate relegation to, like, Champions League spot,
Exactly. But, like, so were Aston Villa. And Aston Villa, I think, did a really good job this season. Barring injuries, barring their mess up schedule that they played Everton in 2 weeks, even though one fixture was supposed to happen, like they had that big COVID scare where they didn't play for 2-3 weeks anyways, right? So, yeah,
that's true.
Like, all those things considered, I think Dean Smith did a really good job, but, like, now that you say it, yeah, Moyes would be the clear front runner from actual relegation, almost relegation to, you know, Europe. Potentially even Champions League.
Yeah, and outside shout to Leeds, who also has a potential chance to get a European spot if Spurs massively shit the bed.
I hope not. I need them to win against Leicester.
But yeah, man, even Bielsa for sure, I think also deserves a mention, because not all teams that get promoted perform this well, because right now they're sitting 10th in the table, 50 points. So I think massive achievement considering the players that they have, and that squad can only get better, I think.
Yeah, I was seeing something about like murder ball that they do in training, where there's no fouls, no outsides, like, you know, basically you're running and they I think the video described that the amount of running they do in like 20 minutes is equivalent to how much running they would do in an entire football game of 90 minutes. Like, that's how intense those sessions are, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, like, I remember the interview that Bamford had recently. He was making a joke about his running coach. He was saying, oh, if I do my running thingies, like, do a certain amount of sprints or whatever, can I get Monday off or Tuesday off? He was talking about, like, scoring a goal or something like that. And the coach was like, yeah, if you score a hat-trick, you can get one of the days off, maybe. But, like, man, like, those guys are gonna give it, like, 110% until the season ends.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Leeds assets.
Yeah. All right. Thanks to Baxter for asking the question. Next, we have...
Thanks, Debbie.
Our friend, Andreas, at Moosies22. Now, since the league title is decided, do you think Liverpool will have Champions League at all? If Liverpool win all games, knock on wood, salt over the shoulder, no injuries, no anything. If Liverpool won against United, and I think this was their toughest game, but Liverpool hopefully are showing some attacking form and hopefully are showing some more pressing. If Liverpool win all games, I think Liverpool will make Champions League. Sanji, I was just saying this before we started recording, was you can win the Champions League, but just finish fifth, man. Just lose to Leicester, just finish fifth. Both of us can have Champions League and you can have the trophy. Like, please.
But I mean, I find it would be way more entertaining if Leicester loses both their games, we win the Champions League, and you guys get the European spot. Like, full shaft to Leicester.
Yeah, but, like, Leicester does deserve Champions League, man. Like...
Why? Why do they deserve Champions League?
To go up against, like, similar sort of, like, last season, decide on the last day you're playing against, like, United and you lose. Okay, cool. The season before that, Rodgers was finding a team that was in the bottom half. I think with the work, Rodgers has done a lot of good work with that team, man. With Kelechi finding this incredible form, with Tielemans playing a really well, deep playmaker, with trying to, like, manage with injuries with, like, James Justin, and I think James Maddison got injured at the start of the season too, right? And then he had COVID or something. Like, all of these things, I mean, I think, like, if there's a shout, if Brendan Rodgers makes top four, I think there's going back to a question before, I think Brendan Rodgers might also have a case for manager of the year as well. So
I mean, they made a cup final as well.
Yeah.
So kudos to that.
Yeah. So
but their squad still needs some work. Like, to me, I still think they should get a better centre back than Soyuncu.
Yes.
Like, that squad needs depth for it to want to compete on the European level as well. Otherwise, they're just gonna get to, like, group stages, first knockout, and get fucking knocked out.
But with the budget of that team compared to what Chelsea spent, compared to what Liverpool has spent previously, compared to what United and, like, City spend, right? Even what, like, Arsenal and Spurs spend, right? I don't know, man. Like, he's done a really good job with that team considering they don't have the resources, right?
You're right, yeah. It's a good point, yeah.
All right, okay. Thanks, Andreas, for asking the question.
Andres.
Next question we have from Robbie P, a team of Caras. Leeds have a great run in and look much better defensively. Who do you rate the best low ownership options? Does Rodrigo get back into the starting 11 after the cameo goal against Spurs?
So, I mean, we'll discuss the picks when we get to that section, right?
Yeah.
In terms of, like, low-owned options and whatnot. But to answer the Rodrigo question, I think Rodrigo is a good punt to take right now.
Especially with the players, especially with the blanks.
Yeah, especially with the blanks. The fact that he is a goal scorer, right? I've seen this guy beat single-handedly. He scored the winner for the Champions League game for my first ever senior Chelsea game that I went to go watch. So I know this motherfucker can score goals. Like, but yeah, and especially if you have, like, auto subs, it's definitely worth a shout, putting him on your bench for those last 3 games. But can I guarantee that he starts? No, because Bielsa, once he has a starting 11, he tends to stick to it, right? So it's gonna be, if you don't have auto subs, you're gonna have to start Rodrigo. That I'm not sure I would do. Like, I would rather maybe start, like, a Matthias Klick if you have, or an Alioski if you have.
Yeah. Good point. right?
And also because Spurs defense is trash, and I think anyone can score against them. So
Especially with Ryan Mason, how he sets up his team.
yeah, bro. See what I told you, man? Like, Ryan Mason gives me no confidence for him to, like, his team goes behind, he's gonna, like, tactically get them out of it. Like, in my head, everyone on the field is just like, oh, fuck off, Mason. Like, we got this. Like, don't worry about it.
All right, okay. Thanks, Robbie, for asking the question. Next question
Thanks, Robbie.
we have from Sigurbjorn at Sigurbjorn5. In my league, we use Fantrax default rules. There are no minus points for goalie scoring own goal. Is it the same in your league, and do you know why it is like this? One guy won his game the other day because Leno didn't get minus for scoring own goal, which was odd. That is odd. We have own goals, and like anyone who scores an own goal would get minus points, right? And if you're
100%.
and if you're a defender and you score an
That's-
own goal and you get the -2 for the goal conceded as well, so it's like a double whammy.
Yeah. Sigurbjorn, you need to talk to your commish, bro. That is some whack ass scoring, fam. Like, you got robbed. 100% you got robbed. So definitely look into that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Ross, we even remember even that yellow card, second yellow card, red card thing. Do you want to maybe mention that even while we look at
Yeah, so sometimes Fantrax has this glitch where if a player gets 2 yellow cards, it would pick it up as a red card and a second yellow card. So that's a -7 and a -4. So it's a -11. Where in fact it should just be a yellow, a 3 points for the first yellow and -4 points for the second yellow. So totaling to the same amount as you would for a regular card. So kind of make that change, right? Sometimes you get the extra -4, which I've had to be like, yo, make sure you remove it to our commissioners, right? Mostly Sanji. But that's something that people don't often pick up. And sometimes, I don't know if Fantrax corrects the glitch or like in one of our games, I don't think Fantrax corrected the glitch at all. And we had to kind of remind we had to remind Sanji to kind of, hey, make sure you kind of do this. So keep an eye out for that too. I'm surprised. I don't know if other people have kind of picked up on that. But if Fantrax, you're listening, fix your platform.
Fix your shit. All right, let's go to the next question.
Thanks for asking.
This one's from Discord.
Yeah,
actually.
this one's from Discord. So
thanks, Igbon.
Peltier, hey fellas. Been listening to you all season. I won my league and in the playoffs. Looking to win this week's quarterfinal, barring a miracle from my opponent. For a topic, I'd love if you discuss playoff strategy for choosing available players when it's best to target who you think will score the most points versus blocking clean sheets or picking the same player. Ooh. Would you?
All right, we gotta drop an air horn to him for making the playoffs.
Bow, 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 bow. Jamaican air horn.
So the playoff strategy. One of the things that he mentioned is actually also one of the things that we talked about in previous seasons as well, right? Covering that
clean sheet.
Defense.
Yeah.
It's something we actually discussed when we started the podcast. I think it was the Spurs clean sheet. It was like Aurier and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like Darius. It was something weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like definitely that is one of the options for sure. Try to cover the clean sheet. If for sure you think the team's going to get the clean sheet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ross, do you have any sort of special playoff rules that you try to maybe administer? I know this time is also a little different given the fab and, with the blank game weeks, etc.
Yeah, like sometimes it's tough to kind of predict what players you're trying to pick up, right? What players the other managers are trying to pick up, right? I think this would be one of the first opportunities where if you have a higher wherever position, like look at who's been in form and look at who's playing who, and it would be really important to kind of go for those players. I would personally kind of look, what I usually do when I'm picking up players is I change the time period to like 30 days or 14 days, which gives me kind of an average on like, it doesn't give me like this season, this player, this team has, this season, this player is averaging 8 points, whereas in reality, in the last 2 games, they could be averaging 3 points, or they could be averaging 20 points, right? Sometimes it won't kind of show up on like that. So those are also things to kind of check out for on seeing on who might be in form, right? I think the big thing this season is away versus home, and teams from like Everton who suck at home but are really good away. So something to kind of manage there. Liverpool, I don't know, away home doesn't really matter at this point. I think they're just trying to win it. So,
You know what though? To kind of pause you on that whole fan thing, aren't there supposed to be fans for like the last two games?
17,000, right?
Something like that.
That. Yeah.
Like basically, like home teams are gonna get like be able to have their fans. So, do you think maybe that could also potentially affect results if we're saying that fans have a sway on a team's performance?
Yeah, I think so. And what I was gonna mention was, now you mentioned fans, was look for who's playing for something. That is probably one of the biggest, for example, Chelsea and Man City might rotate a lot because of their Champions League game, and they don't want to make sure they don't get injuries, right? So might not play the strongest team. So you'll get players like Ake and players like Fernandinho playing a lot more than compared to like John Stones, Ruben Diaz, and Rodrigo. Look at Liverpool's playing for something, Leicester's playing for something, but they're only in one competition, so they have a lot more gap, whereas Chelsea is playing for two competitions, so they obviously don't want to overwork their players at this point, right? The relegated teams at this point, do you really want to take a risk on them, even if they might have really favorable game weeks? Maybe not, but realistically, those are the only players,
anything, right?
Right, yeah, exactly. Realistically, those are the only players that left, so look at the matchup. I was going to suggest like players like Fulham, they might not have anything to play with, and they might come out with a win. Even teams like Sheffield, who, Sanji, you've talked about a lot, who are just like, man, we need to win once more. We need to kind of still go out on a bang, right?
Yeah,
I'm not going to say our podcast name, Sanji. I'm going to say that one for when they actually win. But, look out for things like that. And those are really good because look out for like potential rotation options with resting players for other competitions like the FA Cup, like the Champions League, like Europa League for United. Look out for teams who are still playing for something, the Europe spot. I think Europe is completely open.
Yeah.
So
like Dele Alli is one of those guys that I think is playing for Euro spot now, right?
Right.
And
so
he's been putting together some decent Fantrax scores on his last couple of appearances, I think.
Exactly. So all the way from Leicester to, I don't know, Leeds, right? All these players might have a good shout at Europe right now. So all of them are trying to play for something.
Even Arsenal, right? Arsenal are definitely trying to play for Europe as well because they have nothing else to play for.
Exactly. So, anything's possible at this point, especially with the Europa League spots and the Euro Conference League. That's the other European competition that they're starting up next season too, right? So, a good way to kind of step into get European exposure and European experience without not having the same commitments and not having not overachieving and trying to be like we're going up against the likes of Real Madrid or Barcelona or Bayern Munich and stuff like that. So my teams to kind of look out for at this point are Leicester, possibly Liverpool if you can find players, Chelsea, maybe because there might be a lot of rotation options that you might be able to find players. Obviously, not in the blank game week, but in the game week after. Arsenal, Spurs, all these. West Ham too, so keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, and I think with those last two game weeks, if home teams are definitely going to have fans, I think you could probably punt on those home teams. Just think maybe the fans will have that extra sort of effect on them. Also, if you're able to make, Game Week 38, the finals or whatnot, you might also want to be wary of the fact that Manchester United play in the Europa League final 3 days later as well, right? So they're probably also going to heavily rotate that squad. So you might see the likes of Telles come in for that final game, right? So if you can afford to grab him maybe in Game Week 37, you could probably hold off and, roster him just in case somebody else gets him. Or definitely target last game week. Players that are trying to get their golden boot, maybe get players from that team. So maybe a Wijnaldum or a Giovanni Lo Celso who's going to maybe assist Salah or assist Kane respectively, right? For those guys that are chasing. Other than that, maybe make sure, because how this game week is, it's on a Friday, try not to have 5 players from the first day. Try to spread it out so that you're not screwed over and having to get everyone from the second game of the game week or get everyone from the last game of the game week. Just make sure you stagger your players according to your games, right?
Yeah.
What else can I think of? I don't know. Yeah, target the relegated teams for sure. like Ross said, check the form of players, last 2 game weeks, last 4 game weeks. You can adjust those date periods, right, on the Fantrax platform.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, we listen to whatever picks we suggest at the end, right? I think we have a couple of tasty ones that people haven't considered yet, right? And we'll get to that a bit later. But yeah, Ross, I think those are some decent points. I think it'll probably just evolve as they come up while we're talking about getting ready for playoff modes. We'll try to mention it and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for asking though.
I think we have one
last question
Thanks,
from
Peltier. We have one more question, yep.
Yeah, from FBL_Tractor Keep Benteke informed, but with couple tricky fixtures coming up, or look to swap for Rodrigo from Leeds or Vidra, but he already has Wood or Fabio Silva. Sanji, you play a lot of official FBL, so I'll let you take this one.
So it's funny, I actually talk to this guy, like, quite often. And I told him, like, listen, if you want to start Benteke this double game week, buddy, that's your choice. I have no faith in him. Benteke smashed it, so I don't know if he necessarily needs my advice. Because, I mean, they are facing Aston Villa up next, who do concede a lot of chances. So there's a possibility that Benteke could score. But, we talked about Rodrigo and Leeds. I think Rodrigo is worth a punt as well, mate. If you can get him in, I would say, yeah, go for it. Because I don't know if I'd fancy Benteke even in that last game of the season. What is it, against Liverpool? Bro, Nat Phillips will have him in his fucking pocket, fam. Like,
yeah.
Don't even worry about it. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have any other opinion on that? Maybe Vidra you can get for like the last game week because they play Sheffield United. I mean, there's a chance he could haul there. So with either one of those players, I think you have a good shot at it, really.
Yeah. Fabio Silva against the Spurs defense, that's a good shout too, man. If he's starting.
I mean, it is a good shout if he starts.
That's the only thing with OFPL, right? You don't know if they're gonna. You can't do like lineup changes once, it locks in way before. So
exactly. So yeah, that one's a bit riskier with Silva. But yeah, those are the questions. That's it. Ross, I think now let us quickly run through the player statuses. So guys, just a reminder, the information is coming from premierinjuries.com. It is the injury table, and if you can't find it, go find Ben Dinnery on Twitter. He is the injury guru. Alright, so starting us off, Arsenal. David Luiz is in rehab right now for his thigh, something like that. But he should be back May 19th. Xhaka had a groin issue, also estimated to be back around May 19th. Bellerin came off with a knock in his last game, so there's an unknown return date for him. For Aston Villa, Sanson is returning from his knee injury. He's just in training. Should be back May 19th. Grealish made the bench against Everton today, so he should be back in contention. Cash came off as a sub, complaining about his hamstring, so he might be out for a little bit. For Brighton, Dunk got a red card, Maupay got a red card. I think both are possibly suspended until May 23rd. Lallana should be back, and so should Veltman. May 15th returns, coming back from niggles. Burnley, Pope has some niggles, could be back May 15th though. For Chelsea, Kovacic, I think they're preparing him for Wembley, so we probably won't see him for the next while. Same with Christensen. He can either play the cup final against Leicester or the league game against Leicester. And I'm thinking it's more so the league game. And Kante, he was mostly rested for the cup finals that we have coming up. Crystal Palace, no one really that is injured. Everton, James' calf issue is being managed, so he could be back for the next game. He was rested for that, the Aston Villa game. Yeah.
Yes.
So then looking at Fulham, Reed, your boy, a little bit of fitness issues, should be coming back. But again, you said, why bother pick up Fulham players, right? Looking at Leeds, Liam Cooper, I kid you not, they wrote on the website, buttock injury. I know you're gonna get a kick out of that. Yeah, so it should be back May 15th. Costa definitely out for the rest of the season. Leicester City, Evans complained of plantar fasciitis or fasciitis.
Fasciitis.
Pretty sure I'm butchering that pronunciation. Fasciitis. Oh, there you go. I mean, it's your player. You should know how it's pronounced, right? So, apparently he could be back May 15th. They said how he was back out on the grass. There was no pain, that sort of thing. So, something that they're kind of just managing.
Keep an eye out on the cup lineups against Chelsea. you'll get
Yeah.
a better idea.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we can even retweet those lineups, right? When the cup is being played, the cup game. So Liverpool, Milner and Keita should be back May 16th. Kabak, there's no return date. Any information on that, Ross?
I just know it's a hamstring injury. So, like,
There you go. I love that you learn about your team on the pod itself. Fantastic. Man City. Pep apparently says KDB's injured. I'm pretty sure he's just like monitoring him for the finals. Sorry. And Stones should be back from his red card suspension, so he should be back in contention against Newcastle. Manchester United, Maguire should be out with his ligament issue. Martial apparently is jogging on the grass again, so you never know, it could be a last game week punt right there. Newcastle United, Wilson is out for the rest of the season, apparently re-injured that hamstring against Leicester, and Willock had some cramp issues, but he should be back May 14th. Sheffield United, no one to really talk about. Southampton, Romeu's scan came back good, so he could be back before the season ends. Bednarek, a little bit of an ankle issue again though, should be back May 15th. But Bertrand, I think, is done for the season. Possibly looking for a new club. Spurs, no one to talk about. West Brom, Maitland-Niles should be back because he couldn't face Arsenal, parent club issues. West Ham, Declan Rice should be back. I mean, we keep seeing images of him in the gym, training, etc. And, there's general, agreement that he should be in the starting lineup against Brighton. Let's see, though. Cresswell, there was a dead leg, should be back May 15th. Lanzini, unfortunately, is going to be out with a groin issue. He was, had back-to-back starting appearances?
Yeah.
Was really happy to see that, man.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But Wolves as well, no new injury updates. I think maybe they're still trying to get Jimmy to come out before the season ends, but I would be really surprised. All right, Ross, that's everything in the first half. I think now's the perfect time for us to take our halftime pint, and we'll be back with the prediction results and those picks. Yeah?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, Sanji, we'll be back. We'll be back.
We'll be right back. And we are back. Alright, Ross, so results from last time's predictions. I won 9-6, broke a bloody streak. There you go.
Nice.
I got
GG.
a couple exact scores right and stuff. I don't know if you realize I got the Chelsea Man City score dead on.
Oh, man. Lucky Alonso.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, so again, what we're gonna do for these predictions, we're gonna quickly just discuss the teams. And yeah, just suggest whatever picks that we think can help you win your upcoming game weeks. Alright, so the first fixture up is Newcastle versus Man City. So Newcastle had that away win to Leicester, 4-2. Willock can't stop scoring. I talked about Soyuncu being sus. Willock managed to find that sus moment. Matt Ritchie with the double assist. Like we said, he's on those set pieces and stuff. That's how he managed to get one of those assists for that Dummett goal. The other one coming for one of Wilson's goals. Dubravka doing decent with the saves. I heard apparently Newcastle tend to concede a lot of chances on their right side, sorry. So whoever is the left attacker for the team, this would be, I think, Foden for Man City, could possibly haul against Newcastle. Do you have any points about Newcastle?
With Wilson out now, I don't see much going forward for Newcastle at the moment, right?
It is a little bit trickier, but I think you can still start ASM in those last 2 game weeks, right? You can still start Matt Ritchie in those last 2 game weeks.
Yeah, I think so.
Man City, they had a home loss versus Chelsea, 1-2. So City had a very interesting formation in this game. They played a 3-3-3-1. It seemed like Pep was trying something new against us, but at one point he had 6 attackers against our back 5. It was very, very interesting to see. Sterling, there was a possibility he could have gotten a red card against Timo. I don't know if you saw that studs up challenge.
Yeah, I did.
Very, very lucky.
Consistency, right? Yeah, sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. So
well, I guess that's why Man City didn't get that pen that Zumo is basically bump and grinding on Sterling all the way into the box, man. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. Sanji, so there was a discussion about that game and who played better And I was like, man, I think Chelsea played a much better game and were clearly the better team throughout the whole game compared to Man City. Do you think that's true?
I think Man City definitely started a bit more intense with their new system, new formation, but we kind of weathered the storm. And yeah, I would say we definitely grew into the game and dominated it after that. It's very surprising that he hasn't started Mahrez in these last two games against us, though. That I'm definitely a little worried about coming into the Champions League final.
Sus. Yeah.
Like, something is mad sus, bro. But, oh, by the way, I needed to ask you, how did you enjoy that Panenka from your boy Kun?
Oh, my God, man. Mendy got, like, the easiest 6-7 points that he ever had to do for Fantrax, man.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I don't know, that might be the only chance that Aguero might get to, like, kind of score his last goal, right? So
I know. So, like, what are you doing then as a Kun owner? Are you gonna hold? Are you gonna...
I'll see if he starts on Saturday.
Yeah.
Or Friday.
Friday, yeah. You probably
So,
want to
Friday,
make sure
yeah.
you remember the day, bro.
Yeah,
This is playoffs.
Friday,
There's
Friday,
no going
Friday,
back.
Friday.
Like,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely, it feels like it's a very shitty end to his legacy. Just the way how things are playing out. Not the best way, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now that we've kind of dissected these guys a bit, let's make some predictions.
2-0 Man City.
Yeah, it should be fairly straightforward, right? Like you said, no Callum Wilson. Can Newcastle really get a goal in this? I don't think so. So I'll even go maybe 4-0 Man City. I think they're just going to do a professional job on these guys. What are the picks that you have to suggest?
Nathan Ake, 36%, and Fernandinho, 29%. Both are defenders. Both might see more time with like more rotation with the Champions League games. They've won the title. Congratulations, City. Woohoo.
Oh yeah, we probably should have started the podcast with that. Hey, that Man City won the title.
Woohoo, Man City. But let's not do a Jamaican air horn for them.
Okay, no. I do like your Fernandinho pick more than your Ake pick, right? Just because of ghost points and position, etc. So
I mean, in the game against Chelsea, Ake did like manage to like kind of wear himself a lot. Like he was driving the ball a lot forward. So he gets into good positions, and like we saw it when he was at Bournemouth that he used to like, you know, scrap in front of the goal and like just like, you know, get his foot on whatever, especially on like a set piece or anything. So
yeah.
That's the only reason why Ake, and like, you know, if you're looking for City defender, if you're looking against a team that might not score, you know, that's like hopefully a guaranteed 6 points.
Yeah. The players that I'm going to suggest from Newcastle, Matt Ritchie, 24% owned. Can't believe he's still so low. The guy's playing wing back, out of position, racking up them ghost points. He's on set pieces. He takes corners. Easy route to key passes as well. So go pick him up. Also, Joe Willock, 27% owned. This kid cannot stop scoring, man. And especially if Callum Wilson is out, I think he definitely deserves a starting spot. So he's worth a shot for those last 2 game weeks. Alright, let's move on to the next game. It's Burnley versus Leeds. So Burnley had an away win versus Fulham. Basically told Fulham to fuck off, go back to the Championship. Wood and Westwood got the goals. They kept the clean sheet. I mean, standard Burnley, high energy. I mean, what else is there to say about this game or much about Burnley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Leeds home win
Yeah.
Against Spurs 3-1. Calvin Phillips and Rafinha were on the bench for this game. Your boy Dallas still smashing it, scoring all them goals. Harrison, doesn't matter if he gets goals or assists. He just is great at getting ghost points, man. By the way, quick question. What round would you draft Bamford in next season?
3rd round.
All right.
I have a formation. I have a 3rd to 5th round because I look for lower strikers. First 3 rounds I look for like top 4, top 6 teams, and then I look at like strikers who get points from like the lower team. So I have a system where I go for, depending where I am in the order, 3rd to 5th round.
Okay, if you had to rank these 3, DCL, Watkins, Bamford.
Watkins, Bamford, DCL.
Cool. I'm just coming up with these random questions because I'm bored during the week, just FYI.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would love to go into why, but we're short for time. And I think later on when we're doing like previews for next season, I think I'll go into like why I would do that specific order.
100%. And yeah, again, shout out for Rodrigo. If he starts, go pick him up. He's possible player to own. Ross, let's make some predictions though.
1-1.
Ooh. I will go for a 3-2 to Leeds.
I do like it though, because Burnley can just go, like Sean Dash is like, just go play football, go play how you want to play football, and Leeds obviously want to be like, and if Burnley can keep up, which I think they can in terms of like keeping up with the pace and everything, and with Chris Wood in like incredible form, I think that's a really good score.
Isn't he like an ex-Leeds player as well? There's always that motivation to score against your old club, isn't there?
Yeah. So,
Alright, so the picks that I'm going to suggest from Burnley, Loughton, 28% owned, Taylor, 21% owned. So these guys, I think you can play them in 36, bench them in 37, play them in 38, right? I don't think you necessarily want to play these guys against Liverpool, who are chasing Champions League.
At this point, maybe not. Yeah. Yeah. My bias.
The only person I would probably start a Burnley player versus Liverpool is Brownhill because of those ghost points in the midfield.
Yeah, fair enough, right? But Liverpool, if they pressed like they did today, they made Fred look like Sunday League player today. So I don't know, man. So they're gonna hit
Burnley like 5 or 6 then, basically. All right, I know I ruined the pick for you, but Ross,
I know.
Gonna suggest
Rodrigo, if he starts 45%, right? I think especially with like players missing from Chelsea, Leicester, and United and Arsenal, I think Rodrigo is a really good pick. Might be a really good pick if he starts.
Yeah, definitely a good shout. All right, next game is Southampton versus Fulham. Quick notes about these guys. Southampton were one of the teams that were doubling. They had an away loss to Liverpool. 2-0. Ross, did you notice anything in that Southampton?
They had an away loss to Liverpool?
Did they not? Yeah, bro. What are you talking about? Fam, there was so much football this week. That's the only reason I'm gonna forgive you for not remembering this.
Southampton had an away loss to Liverpool. I thought you said Fulham.
Yeah.
Because you said Fulham doubled up. No, you said... Oh, I thought you said Fulham doubled up. And I was like, what? No. Fulham lost to Liverpool, bro? No. They beat us, bro. Those assholes. Yes, Southampton lost.
Beat you and couldn't even stay the fuck up. Like, audacity, man.
The audacity. Yeah.
Get it? The audacity, because we're recording on it.
Yeah. Southampton, I'll be honest. Southampton should have gotten something from the Liverpool game. Like, that's just my, objectively looking at it, Southampton should have gotten something. I think we could not keep up that high line against Ings and Redmond and Theo and whatever. So we got super lucky with sorry, not Ings. Ings didn't play, but Che Adams. Che Adams had a couple of really good chances where he should have scored probably both, maybe one.
Yeah.
Probably both, definitely one. So,
Yeah. They definitely did have their chances.
Alisson saved our ass in that game.
Yeah, we'll get to the Liverpool part. Don't worry.
We'll get to the Liverpool part. Yeah, we'll get to the Liverpool part, and I'll talk about them more. But, if for their finishing, that's all,
Yeah, they should have taken their chances. But, in their second game, they had a home win against Crystal Palace 3-1. And Ings came back for that one, right? So they were kind of much in, full flow for that one. Like, back to regular schedule programming. Just minus Ryan Bertrand. So if we want to look at Fulham home loss to Burnley, they lost 2-0, officially relegated. Do we really need to talk about them?
Goodbye, Fulham. I think you deserved more this season, but I honestly think they do. But it is the cruelty of the Premier League.
Yeah, it is. All right, how do you see this game going then?
With Danny Ings back, 2-0 Southampton. If he doesn't re-injure himself this game.
Yeah, I will go for a 3-1 Southampton. I'm not sure if Southampton keeps the clean sheet or not. I don't know. Watch Fulham all of a sudden start scoring a bunch of fucking goals when it doesn't even matter. Alright, the pick that I'm gonna suggest though from Southampton, Redmond, 50% own. You may or may not get him. It really depends on your league. Ross, what are the picks you're gonna suggest?
You mentioned Ivan Cavallero with like the one of the highest key passes this past
6
game
key
week, right?
passes and 3 accurate crosses. Yeah,
Something like that,
smashed
right?
it.
So 23 points. I think it might be a more open game, anyways, even if they might not score. And Anthony Robinson, someone from defense, 39% owned. So I know Sanji, you really highly rate him. So check him out too.
Yeah, but I mean, since Parker started rotating him with Anna and Tete,
Yeah.
I was just like, it's not worth it.
So only, that's a big concern.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Sunday games. First one, Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa.
Sanji, you forgot Brighton versus West Ham.
Oh, Brighton versus West Ham. Wow, my extended family is going to hate me because they support West Ham. It's a good thing none of them listen to the podcast, though. All right, so the next game on Saturday, Brighton versus West Ham. I was wondering why I was skipping my Brighton notes all of a sudden. All right, so quick catch-up. Brighton had an away loss to Wolves, 2-1. Dunk got a goal, but he also got a red card. Dunk actually could have scored a couple of goals because I think he hit the post in this one as well.
Yeah.
You saw Sanchez's true colors again in this game. I don't know if you saw for that rush out when they did like that wild back pass. Adama got onto that loose ball and nearly tapped it into like the open net. It was just wild, man. Oh, by the way, yeah, Mope got a red card as well after the game ended.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if you saw that.
Do those points carry over into your like your fan tracks or your FPL?
I feel like they shouldn't they? Because we're gonna count Bruno's goal that came after the full-time whistle in like game week 2 or something like that, when the season started
but that was I feel like that's still within the game though, right? Like it wasn't the actual officially the full-time whistle. This was officially after. You know what? Let's check. Let's pull up Moppe's game week and let's see.
We could check.
Yeah. Let me check. You can keep talking. I'll check really quickly.
Alright, yeah, so going on to West Ham, they had a home loss to Everton, 1-0. So apparently they had 0 shots on target in this game. It just seems that they're a team that plays better with less possession. Like, this season actually, West Ham, the games that they've had their highest possessions, so against Everton, they played, which was their highest, 68.7% possession. They lost. Against Newcastle United, they had 65.4% possession. They lost. Against Newcastle as well, they had 58.3% possession. They lost. The only game where they had a high amount of possession was against West Brom, where they won, right? So there's a chance that, you know what, this fixture might suit them because Brighton is one of those teams, even though they're low down on the table, they like to play with the football. They're a possession-based team, right? So going back to like the highlights from that West Ham Everton game, it just seems like, yeah, they need to be playing on the counter because I don't think they have the personnel within their ranks to unlock teams. I don't think they have that creativity other than maybe Jesse Lingard, and I don't think he alone can do something like that. They had chances to score in that game though. Ben Rama missed a glorious chance. Soufal hit the post. Yeah, Everton really did deserve these 3 points though.
Yeah. So on that note, yes, Moppe did count into his points because he ended up with them -2.
Ah, okay.
But he was subbed off too. In Fantrax it says he played 88 minutes, so he was I think that's super unlucky if you owned Moppe. I don't know. I just think I don't think it should have counted.
Wait, doesn't Urwa own Moppe in our league?
I don't know. Urwa,
so.
He's 9th, so whatever.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Let's make some predictions for this game.
2-2.
Ooh, a RAS special. Bro, West Ham need to win though. They're chasing them Champions League spots.
I think this is where West Ham began to bottle it, bro. Sorry to Sanji's extended family.
Bro, nah, man. I don't believe in that. Antonio's back. What do you mean? Surely, with all the boys coming back. Cresswell and Rice.
David Moyes is a football genius. David Moyes is a football genius.
Oh my god, I never thought I'd hear those words ever in my life. I'm gonna give West Ham like a simple 1-0 win, man. Just the fact that Brighton can't score. But you know what? With Moppe missing, maybe they might actually score. So, What are the picks that you're gonna suggest though, Ross?
Said Benrahma, 32%.
If he starts, right?
If he starts. And people discounted him for not starting last game either. And he did. So,
I discounted him for not starting. I take pride in that.
yeah, you discounted Lanzini also not starting. Yeah. But he started
How many points did Said Benrahma get last game week? Answer that first.
2.5 points or something, right?
Exactly. I don't want Said Benrahma, bro. So the picks from Brighton: Byrne 32% owned, Welbeck 47% owned, Bissouma 47% owned, and Webster 26% owned. I think out of those, Bissouma's probably your safest pick.
Yeah.
Right? Even though Dunk is missing this fixture, I feel like Brighton will still be able to maintain their defensive shape, because I think the games that Dunk has missed before in the past, it really didn't make that much of a difference. I think West Ham will go and... I mean, they need to score. They're going to do their best to score. So that's why I wouldn't maybe punt on the defensive assets.
Mm-hmm.
And Welbeck, I would go because, I mean, West Ham are still likely to concede if the likes of Rice are still out. All right, let us look at the next game then. Now I think we can move on to Sunday, right?
Yes.
Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. So quick notes about Crystal Palace. They were another team that did a double game week. They had an away win versus Sheffield United. It was a 2-0. Benteke could have actually scored a hat-trick. Oh my god, such an aerial monster. What did he get, like 50-something points this game week?
Like, I think
something
highest
disgusting.
or something. Like Trent got the second highest or something.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. By the way, I think this was one of the games that Eze played a slightly different position. He played like part of a midfield 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard on a different podcast how they think that this could potentially be a better position suited to him, because he's not one of those guys like Zaha or Townsend where you just wait on the wing and you want to like just skin somebody. Like Eze to me doesn't seem like a guy that's going to get you 10 goals, 5 assists in a season. I think he could be like the engine room or part of the engine room creativity maybe. But who knows with Crystal Palace moving forward, right? For us, we've been saying like Christian Benteke or bust. Their second game, I think, like we talked about earlier, was against Southampton where they lost 3-1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though Benteke scored, again, Palace being Palace, they just lost the game. By the way, this is like Benteke's second best return in the Premier League since he's started. I don't know if you've known this. In his previous 3 seasons combined, he has 6 goals. This season so far, he has 7.
I know. Jokes.
Craziness, man. Alright, quick notes about Aston Villa. They had a home loss against Manchester United, 3-1. Traore, great finish for that goal. Watkins, stupid dive to get that second yellow. This was the game that Maguire got injured as well. And Douglas Luiz had that stupid-ass tackle on Pogba to give away that standard Penandes penalty.
Yeah.
But yeah, their second game was a home draw to Everton, 0-0. This was the game that Grealish came back in. Emmy had his haul and Matty Cash got injured. Alright, let's make some predictions for this game though, for the Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa fixture.
3-1 Aston Villa.
Yeah, it should be like job done, right? Let's go 3-4. Man, I want to go 3-1. You know what, Ross? I'm going to match your score. It might be one of those that this decides our prediction result thingies, right? So I'll also go 3-1, buddy. Alright, what are the picks that you're going to suggest? Because I'm not going to suggest anyone from Crystal Palace.
El Mohammadi, 4% owned from Aston Villa. Because Matty Cash got injured.
That's a solid pickup. He got like 4 points, I think, in 44 minutes. Right? So, a decent return. And, you know, he does have a highish ceiling as well. Alright, let's go to the next game. Spurs versus Wolves. Quick notes about Spurs. Spurs are shite. The end. Just kidding. Ali was good again, by the way, even though they lost to Leeds 3-1. He had a nice little cheeky assist for Son's goal.
Yeah.
Kane seems to be looking sharp again. He had that offside goal. He hit the post with the free kick. I mean, he's still in that golden boot race with Salah, though I think Salah is now 1 ahead, right? Having scored that brace tonight.
No, Firmino scored the brace tonight. Salah had the 1 goal right at the end.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're tied then. Kane and Salah are tied right now.
Yeah, 21-21. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Do you know what I expect to happen? Kane's gonna, like, touch, like, you know, air the ball into the net, and he's gonna claim the goal for the golden boot, like he did a few seasons ago. You know, he's gonna blow the ball into net and be like, "It's my goal, it's my goal. I promise to God, it's my goal."
Bro, it's the only trophy Mans can win, yo. Like, why are you hating, yo? Like, okay, so their defense is still in a mess, though. I don't trust the Spurs defense. Lloris is, like, saving them way too much. And out of the fullbacks, bro, I will say Aurier looks much better than Reguilon, even in terms of Fantrax returns.
Oh man, Reguilon plays like trash. Yeah, like trash on the pitch, trash in Fantrax.
Oh, jeez. Alright, with Wolves, they had their home win versus Brighton. Shout out to Gibbs White. Got his first goal in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But you know what? Your boy Adama can't stop scoring now, yo.
Off the bench, man. I told you. Didn't I say this? He had the goal assist and the goal, and now he's just gonna, like, you know, beast it for the rest of the season.
Yeah, man.
I'm super happy. Hopefully, you know, it gets me wins.
Very, very happy.
In Fantrax. He was off the bench too, right?
Bro, as long as it gets you to the final, that's all I care about.
You know, race against United on the last day, I'd love it.
Oh, absolute beauty. Moutinho is also back. I was happy to see him get points. Were you worried about Neves' returns, though? He only had like 1 or 2 points, right, from that game?
In like the regular scoring, he had like 1 or 2 points. In the other one, didn't he have like...
maybe because he recovered like 30-something.
Exactly. Let me just.
that's how a lot of his points has come through this season. But I mean, regular scoring, I believe he wasn't as productive, so it was a little bit of a concern.
He got subbed off too, right?
I think so. One thing though, shout out to Ait Nouri. Lately he's been racking up a couple of key passes here and there. I think it was back-to-back games with 3 key passes each. My only concern is that Wolves can easily concede 4 or 5 goals in a game, right? So, unless you have maybe auto subs, Ait Nouri is definitely a punt worth taking, right? Because we saw the likes of Saiss even got benched, right? So, there's no guarantee anyone in that backline is safe.
Yeah.
With Boli out from COVID. Alright, let's make a prediction for this game, though.
3-2 Wolves.
Oh, I was gonna go 3-2 Spurs, fam!
Go for it! Go for it!
Oh, I honestly think like Adama is gonna have so much fun with that shitty ass Spurs backline, and Kane is just gonna maybe get a hat trick or some wildness like that.
No, bro, this is Bale's up. Bale rotates, bro. He goes ham, and then he doesn't go ham, and then he's gonna go ham again.
Bro, no. Bale only goes ham in home fixtures, so you're safe for like 2 game weeks.
Aren't they at home?
The next 2 game weeks for Spurs are at home, but the last one I believe is away, right? I think.
So Bale's gonna go ham, bro. I'm telling you, he's gonna score like 4. He's gonna score like 2 goals.
I mean, the only worry is that he keeps getting subbed, right? Around 70th minute mark. So maybe for playoffs, you might maybe try that with auto subs if you can. Because you could possibly get burnt with like a 1 or 2 point return, right?
Yeah.
So just saying.
Yeah.
There is that possibility.
Yeah.
Alright, the picks that we're going to suggest from these teams.
Fabio Silva, 17%. He, like you said, you know, and Ait Nouri, 30%. Like, you know, I think they've been performing and playing pretty well. Fabio Silva has like, 2 goals now for Wolves? 1 goal. Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. So, you know, I think he's playing pretty well. He should be starting. So, look out for that.
Yeah, if you need a starting player, he's definitely worth a shout. For Spurs, Giovanni Lo Celso. So even though he's not completing 90 minutes or even 80 minutes in games, he's slowly starting to get his creativity mojo back. I'm not saying that he's gonna start for sure, right? Or he's a pick that you want to have for the rest of the season. But maybe while there's a lot of people blanking, it's definitely worth a shout. All right, let's go on to the next game, West Brom versus Liverpool. Quick notes about West Brom. They're relegated. What else? I do have a quick question, though. If Matheus Pereira was to move to another team in the Premier League, where would you draft him?
I think he's going to go to, like, Aston Villa. If, like, they do, like, if Jack Grealish moves on or something.
Yeah, even Aston Villa, yeah. So where would you draft him?
4th round.
Not slightly earlier.
Depends on whose team he goes to. right? If he goes to an Arsenal team,
Yeah, because if it's a better team, you expect his return to
but
increase,
I
right?
also expect him to be rotated more. So,
That's
you
true.
know, you got to balance, got to look at these things.
And he's maybe not on penalties for that team as well.
Exactly.
Right? He got a lot of goals from penalties
So
this season. All right. Looking at Liverpool, though, quick notes that I have, and correct me if I miss anything. I think Phillips is really due a goal before this season ends. Mane is starting to look a lot better. I still feel like Jota and Salah should be scoring a lot more. T-Baby looks like he is back to his best, and every game he seems to be doing better. I don't know how. Alisson is saving your ass recently so much. I was really happy to see Thiago get his first goal for Liverpool as well. It has been coming. He's been shooting a lot more as well. I've noticed that. I believe this was Klopp's 100th win. Not the win against Manchester
the one
United,
against Southampton,
right?
yeah.
The win against West Brom.
Southampton.
Against Southampton, sorry. Yeah. And then, again, we look at the game today against United. Big win, 4-2 at Old Trafford. Bobby got 2, Salah got 1, Jota got 1. Again, TA Hall. TA got 50 points this game week. But yeah, is there anything I missed about your boys?
I think the biggest thing I've seen now that I wasn't seeing, and I'll throw back to the Southampton to Thiago's goal, was Liverpool's bread and butter of pressing up high, winning the ball up super high, and then just moving the ball quickly to find space for Thiago to shoot. And, you know, like, I was hearing that, like, Thiago heard someone from, like, the bench say shoot, and then he was like, yeah, I'll shoot, and he scored, right? And that's why he was, like, in his celebration, he was, like, pointing to the bench and everything. So, like...
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. If Liverpool keep up that press, like you said, man, I think if Trent doesn't go to the Euros, screw Gareth Southgate. If, like, he's been on fire recently. Not just like, you know, not just like
he could have scored today against United.
Not just offensively, but defensively too. Like, I think him and Pogba clashed up a lot, and yeah, he might have been lost the ball, but like he gave Pogba a very tough time to kind of like, you know, get on the ball quickly and like kind of find like the spaces that Pogba does, interceptions and everything, switching the ball. Like Trent is just, you know, he's at the, like, you know, Champions League level that we saw 2 seasons ago. So yeah.
All right. So predictions for this game. I think we both agree Liverpool's gonna win. It's just by how many goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go for 5-0.
I'm gonna go for 2-0. I don't think it'll be. You have a lot more faith in Liverpool at the moment. I'm still super wary because they do tend to drop off, especially against lower teams, regardless if they're relegated or not. So I feel like Big Sam might want to, you know, have one more say in the Champions League race. So, you know, he's a bit of an asshole like that.
I doubt that's gonna happen, man. No way that's gonna happen. Like, these guys are done, man. What are they playing for right now?
Self-respect.
Yeah, okay, sure. If that's a thing that gets you fantasy points. I'm not gonna suggest anyone from West Brom to go pick up. Ross, do you have any picks to suggest from Liverpool?
Yes, Nat Phillips, 50%. His ownership has finally reached that 50% threshold. I think you're right. He might score soon. He got the assist, you know. Like, you know, man's a beast in the air.
Yeah, bro.
Like, you know, I'm saying it like troops. A beast, you know. Fabinho's back in midfield. I was seeing something like since October, every game Fabinho's played in midfield. There's been 5 games Fabinho's played in midfield and Liverpool won all 5 of them. I don't think that's just a causation versus correlation thing. I think it's because he makes our midfielder so much better.
Yeah, I mean, him or Henderson, really, right?
Yeah.
All right, so last game, Everton versus Sheffield United. Quick notes. I mean, let me just get Sheffield United out of the way. No notes. Everton notes. So they also had double game week. They had an away win versus West Ham. They had an away draw versus Aston Villa. By the way, I saw this really funny tweet. Somebody called the Aston Villa Everton game the Kazoo Derby.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that too. I was like,
that was brilliant.
Yeah, that's pretty jokes.
Yeah. So DCL back in the goals again. Allen is back for the team. Ducouré is back for the team. Not sure what Carlo is doing with that back line in terms of who he's going to play out of Holgate, Mina, Keane. I think really Keane and Godfrey should be starting. I don't think Holgate has been good enough this season to start. He's been managing James and his injuries and his fitness and stuff. So Dean's output will be affected whether or not James plays. And even Siggy came off early as a substitute, right? So I feel like Dean is going to be an absolute monster going into these playoffs while those guys get rotated with their minutes, etc. And I mean, same thing, Richarlison still can't fucking finish. By the way, Pickford, back-to-back clean sheets. He is looking a lot better now, I think, because the Euros are right around the corner.
Yeah.
I find Carlo gave him that proper kick up the ass, and he doesn't look as shite anymore, I want to say. But let's make some predictions for this game, Ross.
You probably see my prediction on the screen, but Everton are trash at home.
Oh my god.
Sheffield 1-0.
You're doing this because you're only doing this so you can get that stupid podcast.
Yeah, man.
I know.
Yeah, man.
I know.
One game, Sheffield.
You know what?
One game. That's all I ask. McGoldrick, I don't know if you'll ever listen to this, but like you need to score and one game, man. Just one game. When you see the podcast name, you would be like, I'm glad Sheffield won at the expense. Even if it's Everton fans, they'll be like, I'm glad Sheffield won because this is a pretty funny name.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, Everton at home, like you said, so there's always that chance. But yeah, you're going with that Sheffield 1-0 win. I'm going to predict a Everton 3-0 win. I don't know why you think Sheffield's going to get anything. They look so bad. Who are the picks that you're gonna suggest from this Sheffield team that you think are gonna win?
Like, do you really want someone? But Everton are trash at home, so you're trying to balance a couple of things. If there's anything, go pick up McGoldrick, 24%. He's probably the only one, or even like Ollie Norwood, 17%. But those are the only ones. I would still stay away from them because I don't even know who gets points one week and doesn't get points the other week. So.
Did you just pick out the foreign players from Sheffield?
Yeah.
You bastard. Yeah, I'm gonna suggest Godfrey 27% owned. He seems like a Carlo fan favorite. You know what? I'll be honest, I never rated this guy. Even when he was at Norwich.
Yeah.
I just feel like there was always a mistake in him. And again, I still don't have confidence in him, and I think Everton should go and invest in some proper centre-backs. But you know what? Carlo knows what he's doing, right? He's won the Champions League several times. And Ducouré, 31% owned. He's back in the heart of midfield and played 90 minutes. Back in the heart of ghost points. Worth a shout for the run-in for games, right? If Everton really want to get that European spot that they've been fighting for all season.
Yeah.
And that is it. That is the predictions. That are the picks. That's all we had planned. Ross, before we sign off, do you want to quickly remind listeners how they can engage with us and share our beautiful podcast?
For sure. So you can message us on Twitter and Instagram. Our handles at BantaB. On Discord, on the Draft PL channel, Banta Boys, #6585. On Reddit, /Banta_boys. To listen to us, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, and YouTube, all under the name of Banta Boys.
Dope. So go check us out. Go hit us up, message us, send us a like, send us a comment, give us some feedback, just engage with us. Let us know how your season's been going, you know.
Sanji, I think we should put out a question because our playoffs are starting, but I don't think everyone else plays with playoffs.
Okay.
I think some people might play like a proper 38 league type season, right? I think that's a question we should put out to the community, asking how many people play with playoffs and how many people don't play with playoffs.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. Writing that down right now. Okay, so before we say bye and wish everyone good luck, what's the situation with your squads going into the waivers? Do you have a starting lineup? Are you worried about that?
In one league I do, in the other league I don't. In the Bant Boys I don't. So I'm gonna go make my picks tonight based on what you shared with me on your picks. I got premium access to potential picks available.
Yo, you know what? If one of us wins, I'm gonna be happy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Sanji, you've gone to like 4 consecutive finals.
Every time I've played, I've made a final. It's always a final, never a winner.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that should be our pod name.
The only win I have has an asterisk next to it, right?
Yeah, it didn't count.
Apparently didn't count, even though people were making moves. Oh my god. By the way, did you notice Neeraj almost lost first place today? By like 1 point?
Yeah, it was it's a whole discussion, bro.
Oh
right?
My God.
Zen had Matty Ryan on his in his team and didn't switch him out, or else he would have won. So
you know what? Kudos to Zayn for not being in playoffs again, but still playing every game week as serious as he can.
Yeah.
Really, those sort of managers are very, very rare to find.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I think my squads are fairly well lined up. Like we said, Banter Boys League, I've got a bye this week. But I will probably make some picks just so I could stop you from, getting my picks. But in our OG league, yeah, I've got my matchup against Zubain, our co-op student. So that's going to be interesting. A little nervous, but I think, we're going to be well prepared. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than good luck. Guys, listeners, if you have any questions before your playoffs start or even in the middle of your playoffs, hit us up on Twitter, on Discord, wherever you can find us, and we'll try to, help you out.
Yeah.
But other than that, Ross, that's it from my end, mate. I'll see you on the next episode.
Yep. Peace.